안녕하세요 여러분, 저는 캐리입니다. Hi everybody, this is Carrie. I'm making this video from my apartment in Jeonju in Gyeongnam province in South Korea. So I was not really shocked by, but a little disappointed by the recent video that was posted by MBC called The Shocking Reality about foreigners in Korea. I'm obviously a foreigner here living in Korea and can't help but feel a little bit offended that something like that would be published by MBC in 2012. I really think the problems with that video are not particularly that it's racist, because it didn't really isolate a specific group of foreigners as being the culprit, but rather that it was extremely xenophobic, that it was kind of like an us against them mentality, which you do find here in Korea, and it does exist, but it's usually the kind of thing that you'll hear one-on-one in a conversation, not so much as something that comes from the media. So I was kind of disappointed to see that dichotomy set up. It's very simplistic to set up a dichotomy that we are this way, you are not, and I think that's kind of unfortunate. But it is a sentiment that you can feel here in Korea, so I don't think it's necessarily a completely incorrect perspective. The problems in the broadcast are that it is irresponsible journalism. A lot of people got angry at MBC, and then their only response is that they outsourced it. So, someone else made this and then we purchased it and we aired it. So we didn't really make it, so we're not really responsible for the content. I think that's just a very poor excuse. It also creates the wrong impression. It creates this general perspective that all male foreigners in Korea are out for hunting women here and looking to just screw around and take advantage of vulnerable women. So I think that's completely incorrect. It's also highly edited. You can see that there's a lot of flash cuts between things, and a full sentence or two is hardly uttered. You see the beginning of a sentence and then it cuts and there's an overdub of somebody saying some situation, and a lot of stuff is assumed in the video. So there's a lot of mistakes in what we watched on MBC there. However, I do want to explain my perspective on what I know about foreign male and Korean female relationships here. I know a lot of successful relationships here. I'm not talking about hookups, I'm talking about people who are in relationships, who are in committed relationships. I have a good Canadian friend who's been married to her Korean husband for 3 years now, and they have a little girl who's beautiful, and they have a lovely life up in Seoul. I have another friend who lives here in Jeonju, and he just married his Korean girlfriend, now wife. They just got married this year, and he's fluent in Korean. He's an amazingly inspiring person to me to get better at Korean. I have another young friend couple in Seoul who just got married a few weeks ago. And I have another friend who's Irish, and he just married, I think they got married about a year ago. I have another friend who's been in a relationship with his girlfriend for about 4 years. He's in a band in Seoul, and she always comes to support him. So I think that these relationships are not really all that different from other relationships in the world. It's just that they happen to be intercultural relationships. So, of course, sometimes you find people who aren't looking for a full committed relationship, who are just looking to hook up with someone. And I think that's what the video is talking about. But that happens everywhere in the world. That culture of meeting people, hooking up, and then not calling them back, not answering the phone calls, or calling too much afterwards, that happens everywhere. It's not a particularly Korean thing or a particularly foreigners in Korea thing, so I don't know why they would focus entirely on that. But my perspective is that good relationships happen. Good relationships happen here in Korea between people who have come to Korea as visitors and then love it and then become kind of permanent residents here. And it happens the opposite way. When Korean people emigrate to another country, it's entirely possible that they would find someone to share their life with there. So I think it's really sad that Korean TV is trying to show this negative perspective and very xenophobic perspective, we have to consider that it obviously wasn't a very carefully made production. So how much can we really feel offended when it's so entirely inaccurate? I was originally going to make a spoof video of this and have all my friends come together and confess the crazy stories that have happened to them, because there are a lot of crazy stories. But then I was talking with another friend and we realized that, sexual abuse and bad things that happen to women anywhere in the world is a really serious topic, more than something that I could joke about. So I decided to not tell those stories. My own personal negative experiences involve just really cultural misunderstanding, and most of the bad things that happened to me happened very early in my time in Korea when I didn't really understand what was happening. So, for example, I went on a date with a guy, and we had a really nice date. I met all of his friends. He was holding my hand the whole night. I thought he's really into me, and then I helped him study for an English exam that he was doing, and I was explaining all these specific kind of TOEIC level English words to him, and then we were getting along really well, and then he texted me on Christmas Day and said, "I love you. You're like a Christmas present to me." So I thought, oh my god, I'm going to have my first Korean boyfriend here, and this is amazing and exciting and really fun. So then I went home for Christmas, and I came back and I texted him. I said, "Hey, I'm back, let's get together." And he never wrote back. Nothing. Not even a goodbye or a thank you for the English lessons or "you're great." Nothing. So at that time I kind of felt like the "I love you" is something different in this culture than it is to me, because when he said "I love you" to me, it was like, I want to be with you more. And I think for him it was just like, "I love you, no big deal." So that's just one example of the weird/bad experiences that I've had. I've had other bad things happen, but I don't really need to get into all of that. But bad things happen, good things happen. Life is full of this kind of experience, and this is when we learn when bad things happen to us. So I think it's one thing to feel upset by something bad that happens, but it's another thing to feel victimized by an entire race of people. So I don't feel that Korea has betrayed me or did something bad to me. In fact, I love this country. I feel very safe and comfortable and happy here. I'm actually in a relationship now with a Korean man who is one of the nicest people I've ever met. I don't love him because he's Korean. I love him because he's wonderful. So I feel grateful for that. That's my perspective. So I hope this is useful for you. I will make a video sharing my most romantic date and my worst date, because people have asked to hear this. I don't know why you want to hear about my worst date, but I have a couple. I'll give you a little preview. One of them involves my hand and spit, and that is all I will say for now. So stay tuned for the worst date, best date video, which will come out probably in a few days. So I hope this is useful. MBC, if you see this, please don't outsource footage like this without thinking carefully about the repercussions of what you're producing. So thank you very much for watching, and subscribe to my channel for more videos about life in Korea and dating in Korea and learning Korean. And you can also follow me on Twitter at expatcarrie, and you can come visit my blog at expatcarrie.com. So thank you very much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.